the 6th of July, where I got it very clear that there is a view contrary to.
What happened on the 6th of July?
We saw a press briefing by Provincial Commissioner Gerald Mchunu making statements around the dissolution and other related aspects.
Yes. Now, the statement that he made, General Mchunu, in that meeting, I've looked at it, well, Ms. Lengane looked at it and told me what it says. But it says that you and Mr. Mokgotsi are receiving financial assistance from Mr. Matlala, who is an alleged criminal. Makes that explicit statement.
Correct.
I mean, is that true or false?
It's false.
Yes.
It's false. There is no money that I have ever received from Brown Mokgotsi, or he has received.
No, it's from Matlala, not from Mokgotsi.
Or from Matlala.
Yes. So what General Mchunu said is that you and Mr. Mokgotsi are receiving money from Mr. Matlala, who is an alleged criminal.
Oh, it's false.
Yes.
It's false.
Yes.
I'm not part of that. If Mr. Mokgotsi has ever received any money from Mr. Matlala, that would mean that it was him and him alone receiving whatever he would have received. Myself, I've never asked for any money from Mr. Matlala. I've never met him. I've never spoken to him on the phone. I've never asked for anything from him. I've never received anything from him.
Yes. And what he then sought to do, General Mchunu, he sought to locate the dissolution of the PKTT in this context of a minister receiving money from a criminal, or an alleged criminal.
I believe that, yes, I'm aware of that.
Yes.
It's a narrative which I would say was choreographed somewhere, but it never found its way to reality. And there's no evidence that that is the case. Because I say, even if somehow they located to the incidents of the 6th where there was a raid in Matlala's home and all of that, I knew nothing about the raid, the intended raid. I never got any briefing that there was going to be a raid in Matlala's home and offices and so on. I never received any presentation or report after such a raid. And therefore, to link these two things and the dissolution and me and a person that I'd never met and the happenings in his home or whatever was totally false.
Yes. Now, not only did he say that in that press conference, even before this commission, at paragraph 187 of his statement, this is what General Mchunu says. He says, Minister Mchunu, through his associate with Brown Mokgotsi and as corroborated by his Chief of Staff, Mr. Nkabinde, maintained associations that have confirmed links with the underworld. So he says, you have links with the underworld. And he did that to justify the criticism he had of the dissolution.
That statement is entirely false. One, I'm no associate to Brown Mokgotsi.
Forget about Brown Mokgotsi. Let's just talk about the links with the underworld. That is really the critical statement.
I have no links, and I have never had any link with the so-called underworld in whatever manner.
Yes. And the link that he draws between the dissolution of the task team and this connection, alleged connection with the underworld?
Is false.
Yes. Now,
it is false.
Thank you very much. Now, you've explained what you are trying to achieve, and you've explained that it was widely accepted within the SAPS. There was the question of the comparison with the task team in the Eastern Cape responsible for combating taxi violence. And I was left not sure of if I fully understood your answer. Maybe you could just, for the last time, explain to the commissioners, what do you say about this comparison? Is it a fair comparison, an unfair comparison?
I would say it's a comparison that is fair at the level of principles. In other words, SAPS accepting the existence and the use of task teams, but it is qualified in terms of the work study and in terms of our vision and in terms of what has been adopted and so on, that generally, as a general rule, you will have specialized task team. But then there would be exceptions to that when the need arises, either because of a situation that is beyond such capacity in that particular area, and then you would have a task team. Or in the case of Eastern Cape, but which transpired later, that even the specialized team or the specialized units that we had there in the form of murder and robbery was not as effective as it would. But that was found or established later. But the principle was, the actual initiative was to say, we are seeing taxi violence and related violence growing and growing. Seemingly, the capacity that we have in the Eastern Cape is below what it would take to deal with what we're seeing. Hence, sending a number of people under Major General Zulu after the discussion with National Commissioner. So the difference is that a situation arose in the Eastern Cape around taxi violence. You then say, Major General Zulu must go there within this time frame, with this budget at hand, and that is what they do. Then they found that they have to extend time. They extend time, they deal with this particular problem. The difference with, between that and NPKTT, that is National Killings, Political Killings Task Team, is that whereas it is a task team, but its length of period, which I'm saying is no longer in keeping with what it was established for in 2018, if you look at figures and if you look at incidents. And even if you look at the 22nd January report of the National Commissioner, even though it comes after I had issued the letter but it confirms, because National Commissioner does say it has fulfilled the mandate for which it was established for. And it even says beyond any doubt, which means that even though I issued the directive, subsequently it was confirmed. Now, you are then saying you have PKTT coexisting with the specialized unit in whatever capacity, but it was not envisaged that you would have a coexistence of a national team coexisting with that particular capacity. That is not what was envisaged, which is now happening. Hence, and in any case, PKTT was never envisaged as a permanent. It was always, yes.